بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. In today's lecture on uplifting our morale, we'll talk about a new title, which is Knowledge Can Never Be Acquired Through Easy Life. A lot of us don't pay attention to the significance and importance of acquiring knowledge. Let us shed some light on how our righteous ancestors acquired knowledge. How did they sacrifice their lives and their easy lives for the sake of getting a piece of information? Some of them may die on the roads. Others may lose their lives or their wealth or even their families. Ash-Shafi'i said, "It's the duty of the seeker of knowledge to attain the utmost effort and endeavor to increase his knowledge and to be patient in getting every single piece of information and to master his sincerity and purify his intention for the sake of Allah and to seek after the pleasure of Allah in acquiring this knowledge." On the authority of Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, "When the Prophet ﷺ passed away, I said to one of the Ansar, of the people of Medina, let us go. We still have a great number of the Prophet's companions. If we pick up prophetic traditions and reports from them, it would benefit tremendously." The man looked at Ibn Abbas and said, "And you think that people will look at me and you and they will leave the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ? People will take knowledge from them." So Ibn Abbas said, "Woe to you, I'm going to seek knowledge." So Ibn Abbas started going to the doors and gates of the Prophet's companions. And he said, "Sometimes I used to sleep on the steps of those gates until wind comes and throw dust in my nose. And one day I slept on the gate of one of the companions. He used to say to me, 'O cousin of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's better that you just inform us and we would come to visit you to teach you whatever you like about the Prophet.' And Ibn Abbas used to say, 'No, I want to better stay and wait seeking knowledge.'" Later on, Ibn Abbas saw the man in one of the streets of Medina. People gathered around Ibn Abbas and everyone started asking him a question. The man said, "Woe to me. I lived until I saw people asking Ibn Abbas and I thought that he will reach nothing in knowledge." This is very important. When you are still a small plant, you do not expect how people may benefit from you. But when you become a great scholar and you have a lot of benefit for people, you in fact achieve a very important wish of the righteous people that Allah mentioned in the Quran. Allah said about the dua of Ibad al-Rahman, the slaves of Allah, وَجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا, and oh Allah, make us leaders for the righteous. And here, because people would imitate them, follow their steps, and they would have rewards for every single deed that their fellows would make because of their advices. Ibn Abi Hatim said, I heard Al-Muzani saying to Al-Shafi'i, describe for me, Al-Muzani is asking Al-Shafi'i, describe for me your desire for knowledge, your readiness to receive the piece of information. Al-Shafi'i explained for him this process by saying, every single word and letter I hear with my own ears, I wish that the whole of my body feel the same ecstasy, the same feeling and the same pleasure and joy. And he said, how do you care about knowledge? Shafi'i said, I'm like a vicious rich man who only cares after accumulating money. And he said, how do you seek knowledge? He said, I'm seeking knowledge like a woman who lost her baby. She is searching after him like a crazy one. So he is asking and seeking after knowledge in this way. It is a description of a personality which is amazing. He feels that every single limb and organ in his body assimilates, absorbs, loves knowledge. This is something amazing, something unbearable and also unimaginable. Al-Bukhari said in his Sahih, Jabir ibn Abdullah traveled for the distance of 1 month to Abdullah ibn Unais, asking and seeking after one prophetic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And Abu Ayyub al-Ansari traveled from Medina to Uqbat ibn Nafi', and he was in Egypt to report one hadith for him, and he left Egypt without meeting its ruler. They used to seek after knowledge as if we seek after money. Alhamdulillah, we have a lot of people traveling from a town to another town, a city to a state to another state. Even we cover long distances to get a few dollars more. And subhanallah, those people covered long distances for the sake of receiving a few words the Prophet ﷺ said. This is the reason that Allah blessed their knowledge, because they exerted effort. And this is the reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought for us Iman and Islam in that clear, crystal way. Because if we don't have sacrifices of people like those great ones, we will not be able to reap the fruits of this knowledge. قال مالك عن يحيى بن سعيد عن سعيد بن المسيب قال, on the authority of Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, who said, كنت أرحل الأيام والليالي في طلب الحديث الواحد. I used to travel for long days and nights seeking after only one hadith. One hadith. Maybe one sentence. A few words. Umar ibn Hafs al-Ashqar said, they lost al-Bukhari one day. They couldn't find him in any of the mosques of Baghdad or Basra. We asked about him, and we found him naked at his home. You know why? Because al-Bukhari couldn't have a few dirhams to buy a garment to cover or to dress himself with. He said we collected money for him to buy him a piece of cloth. Al-Bukhari had more than 100,000 dirhams, and he spent them all in the cause of Allah, seeking after knowledge. He was rich, but he spent them all for the sake of acquiring knowledge. That's why we have Al-Bukhari's book with us in our hands. Millions of people benefit from it day and night. Sincerity, brothers and sisters, sincerity, love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking after knowledge sincerely. Abdul Rahman ibn Qasim, the Egyptian one, had an amazing story with Malik. He is the student of Malik and Al-Layth. He said, I used to go to the gate of Malik late at night to catch him before leaving his home immediately before going for Fajr prayer. I used to ask him for 4 or 5 questions because I found out that he was in a good mood at that time. One night, I slept on his step, and Malik left for the prayer. The slave girl came to me and found me sleeping, lying down on his gate. She kicked me with her feet and said that, your master has already left his home for the prayer of Fajr. She thought that he is a slave of Malik because he got a long companionship with him. And she said, your master spent almost 49 years performing the Fajr prayer with the same wudu of Isha. Your master performs Fajr prayer with the same ablution of Isha. For how long? 49 years. We are amazed at the students. We should be more amazed at the teachers. It is said about Al-Hafidh al-Diya Abu Muhammad al-Maqdisi. When they looked at his face, they said, we saw light going and shining out of his face. He had a poor sight at the end of his life because of writing too many books and because of crying from khashyah of Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.